What's going on, guys? Jake Peffer here with Jake's Cinema Room. I am back with another review. Today I'm going to be looking at the latest series release on Disney Plus, Cars on the Road. Not a movie, but I do like to dabble in some series every now and again. And with this one, I was actually expecting it to be more like the Monsters at Work series that they released last year that was based on Monsters, Inc. That's the way the trailers for this were giving off kind of that vibe. It seemed like it was going to be more of like a 20 to 30 minute per episode series. And unfortunately, this ends up being just a number of shorts. All the episodes are under 10 minutes, which was kind of disappointing because I thought this, like I said, was going to be more of an actual show. But that's not to say that there isn't some stuff here to enjoy, especially for the kids. If you have kids, they're going to love this show, especially if they're into cars. My son in particular, he loves cars, and they're some of his favorite movies. So naturally, when I got sent this, we watched all 9 episodes within a 2-hour period, and he was pretty much entertained the entire time. And myself, I mean, like I said, despite them only being less than 10 minutes per episode, there are some enjoyable moments here and there, and it does actually have a overarching story that goes throughout the entire thing. Basically, we have Mater, who is still voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. He's going out to his sister's wedding, which we learn that he has a sister all of a sudden. But yeah, he's making his way across country to go visit her for her wedding. Lightning McQueen ends up tagging along for the ride. And this is the only time outside of the 3 feature films that Owen Wilson has actually voiced Lightning McQueen. Any of the other Cars shorts or anything like that, it's always been voiced by somebody else. So it was nice to actually see Owen Wilson come back. And that was another thing that kind of led me to believe that this was going to be more of a actual TV series versus just these shorts. But I digress. They both are doing a great job as their characters as well. You do get a lot of other characters that come back, mainly just in the first episode. That's where they start out in Radiator Springs, and you have all those characters there who still have all their normal voice actors, with one exception being that the character Mac, who is voiced by John Ratzenberger, his character shows up, but he has no lines, and that is interesting because the last 3 or 4 Pixar movies Ratzenberger hasn't been a part of, and I still kind of am wondering what that's about. But anyway, you do get another character coming back in the final episode, in Cruz Ramirez, who was in Cars 3, that ends up kind of taking over Lightning McQueen's spot and becoming a new racer. So it was nice to see some of those characters come back and interact a little bit. And there are actually some pretty interesting episodes on here. One is in the style of like Mad Max Fury Road. That one's pretty fun. There's another one that takes place inside like a haunted house that's pretty interesting. My favorite is actually where they stop off at a truck stop, and while Lightning McQueen goes inside to kind of look for snacks or whatever cars eat or drink, I guess, Mater's outside, and there's all these trucks out there, and it basically turns into a musical episode where they're all singing and dancing and doing this really actually pretty entertaining song that I thought. But that ended up being my favorite episode just because it had a lot going on for it. And there's some other episodes here and there that, are a lot of fun and entertaining. And like I said, for the kids, it's definitely going to be something that they're going to be into. For the parents, this is definitely something you can just throw on in the background and, let your kids watch for 9 episodes, especially if you're, cleaning or doing stuff around the house. You may not necessarily want to sit down and pay attention to it, but if you do, there's some stuff that's, a little funny and whatnot, but there's not a whole lot here for the adults, unfortunately. This is definitely strictly for the kids. And there's no problem with that because, like I said, it's all shorts and it's designed for the kids. So, it is what it is. It's going to depend on how your personal taste of the Cars movies. Me personally, I like them for the most part. They're not my favorite Pixar movies. They're definitely in the lower tier. My personal favorite is the 3rd one, actually. I like the storyline of it, and I think it works really well. Really, with the exception of Cars 2, which I don't think should exist. 1 and 3 are enjoyable to varying degrees, but even 2 has some things here and there that are entertaining, but for the most part, that movie just, is probably the very bottom for Pixar for me. But if you are a fan of the Cars movies, you probably get a kick out of this series, and like I said, your kids are probably going to love it. So overall, if I was to give this a rating, I would say it's probably about a 6 out of 10, because there's enough here to sustain for some adults, but in the end, it's really going to be for your under 10 years old and younger. They're going to enjoy the hell out of it, and like I said, this is something to just put on in the background. There's not a whole lot to it, really. If you've watched the Baymax series on Disney Plus, this is very similar to it in terms of just the way that it's structured and the episode links and things like that. So if you've watched it and are familiar with it, it's going to be more like that and not quite like Monsters at Work, which, who knows, maybe we'll get another Pixar series like that, because I think that show actually works really well. No pun intended. But yeah, that's about it for me, guys. If you have watched Cars on the Road, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll leave all my links to my other websites and places you can follow me in the description. And until next time, I'll catch you all later.